think I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. I don't know why it's not giving me an option here to share. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
What? Now you're small.
Now I'm small. I know, because I'm going to share. I'm going to try to get this up. So you should be able to see this. Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone. Thanks so much, you guys, for making time to be here. I feel like this is such an important time to really have these conversations and really think about what we can be doing to improve upon where we are at. It's a very, very stressful time for a lot of us. We are trying to manage a lot of things. A lot of people have kids, they have family they're taking care of, whether that be supporting some family members, some parents, some grandparents, whatever it is, the kids. And so we really have to figure out, what are we doing well and where do we have some room to improve upon? And that's really what I wanted to talk about. We don't have control of everything, but we certainly have a lot of control over some things that we can be doing. And like I had said, our kids are watching what we're doing. Our bodies are really feeling what we are doing too. It may not seem like it, but it really has an impact the way your mind and your body kind of connect with things. So I want to just have a little bit of a conversation here on it. So let me do the present mode so you can see a little better here. Okay, and I really do feel like there is no greater time than now to really take responsibility for what we are doing in our lives here. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is a couple of things. So I want to talk about essential oils and how we can potentially use them to help with stress, how aromatically and for our immune system they can help support us, for cleaning up our home a little bit, how our body responds to stress. I'm going to have Tracy talk about stress and how to manage it a bit and how to support the immune system. And then Juliana is like an incredible meditation person who really just has this way of contributing and helping support so many different people. And I really want her to talk on this conversation too. So I have some basic slides, but I might kind of move and travel around just depending on where the conversation goes here. So we'll start with some, most of you know a little bit about the essential oils, but it's always good to do kind of a quick review to remind you, why should you be using these, right? And what can they do? So this is like a super simple thing that I love for people to do. First of all, we really need to be drinking a high volume of water, okay? So at least think whatever your body weight is, half of that in ounces. So if you weighed 140, at least 70 ounces a day of water. And I suggest, like, I love having a water bottle and then I'll fill it with the water and an essential oil, just one drop, because that's going to help slightly detox the liver, give you some antioxidants. It changes the flavor. So sometimes for people, it's a little bit easier to drink. So I would highly recommend that you do that. And to start your day, I used to start my day, like if I had a mug like this by my bed, I would drink this. But Tracy actually got me started on drinking even more water than that. She said 3 cups of water for me. So I start my day with a big mason jar. I do 2 cups of just filtered water, 1 cup of warm water. It's actually really hot water that I put in. And then I squeeze half of a lemon and half a teaspoon of sea salt into there. And Tracy maybe will expand on a little bit of the sea salt and the benefits of that after. Okay, so I start with a large volume of it because you're dehydrated in the morning, and it's a really nice way to get the day started. Now you might be thinking, okay, if we're talking about stress and everything, why are we talking about water? All these things, nutrition, water, your mindset, all these little things that you do during the day add up to a large volume of how it impacts you during the day. So don't discount these small little things that you're like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to drink water, but are you? So I would challenge you or suggest get your water in a bottle or two, how much you're trying to drink for the day. So it's already, you know, pre-diluted out in containers. So you've got it ready to go for the day. All right. Oops, let me go back one. So this is like a huge picture here, huh? So you can't miss this olfactory nerve on the right-hand side. But I wanted to show you this because I think this is really interesting and really important. So sometimes we can discount the power of diffusing oils and things that smell good on impacting the body. So right under the bridge of the nose, or right above, I should say, the bridge of the nose, right here, if you can see me here where I'm pinching, that is where your nerve, this is where your olfactory nerve is, okay? And that nerve sends messages to the limbic system in your brain, okay? Which then from that limbic system, it in turn sends signals to the rest of the body. And so that can be really powerful. The body can be impacted just by smell. So for an example, if we're to think like, how would that work? Think about it. Like I remember when my son went into surgery for his knees, they would put the mask over his face, right over his nose and his mouth, and they would ask you to inhale. Like within 10 seconds, you're out, right? It just completely knocks you out. So that is kind of showing you the impact of a synthetic compound through a mask, but it affects that olfactory system and is powerful enough to send signals to the rest of your body to completely like knock you out there. Okay, so it's the fastest way to access the brain is through the nose and through that, okay? So it's the same with essential oils. So when we breathe in those natural compounds of the essential oils, it hits that olfactory nerve, and then it in turn sends signals to the rest of the body. And that limbic system is responsible for a lot of your hormones, a lot of your stress response. So you want to find ways to calm it down, okay? And so there's certain oils like a wild orange. If you diffused wild orange, that has been shown to help with depression. And it has a lot of powerful ways to calm the nervous system down. So I highly recommend that you find a couple oils that really resonate with you to diffuse during the day. So a citrus oil is always wonderful for people. Those are very calming. People know lavender would be a great one to use. There's a blend called Serenity or Adaptive that are really powerful oils to use too. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the cells and how they are impacted by the whole body. This is a really important one, okay? Especially with everything that is going on right now when everyone's hearing about these bacterias and viruses, okay? So let's say that you have a cell in your body, okay? This is gonna represent the cell, okay? I have a fist here. So on top of that cell, there's an oily membrane, and you can see the picture there too, right? That around the outside, that is that oily membrane. So the cell membrane protects the cell, that outside of it, okay? So it keeps all the good things in and all the bad things out. Now, there's two things that are really harmful to our cells, and that's bacteria and viruses. So bacteria, typically they form on the outside of the cell, and the viruses duplicate the DNA in the inside of the cell. So all you have to think about is bacteria, think back on the backside, on the outside, and viruses on the inside. So if you go to the doctor and you're not feeling well and you have a bacterial infection, what do they typically have you do? You're going to take an antibiotic most of the time, right? for 7 to 10 days. Maybe you're going to be on that. And most likely it's going to clear up that infection. But a lot of times it's very disruptive to the gut, to the hormones, to the immune system. Okay. Now, if you have a virus and you go into the doctor, they typically are going to tell you, go home, get some rest, sleep, maybe drink some chicken broth if they're really good, right? So that is really what they're going to say, because most of the modern recommendations are water-based synthetic agents, okay? So water and oil don't mix. So if your recommendation is a water-based, it's not going to really be able to penetrate that oily membrane and stop the duplication of the virus. So the cool thing about essential oils is that they're different because they are oil-based, right? It's a lipid. And so that means that it can permeate, it can penetrate through that cell membrane. So they can work on a cellular level without the side effects or any addictions with it, okay? And they can still help to combat the bacteria on the outside and prevent the duplication of the virus on the inside. So I just think those are two really interesting things to kind of keep note of with essential oils and the power of them. Okay, now, one thing I want to touch on is what we are doing in our households, okay? Because the power of these little things that we are talking about, when you are using harmful chemicals, you're inhaling them. Remember, we're talking about the power of how it goes to the brain, impacts the cells. So when you're using harmful chemicals, they are getting on the ground, they are getting in your skin. And I think it's over 85% of the household cleaners, the ingredients in them have not been tested. Okay, there's not a lot of regulation for this stuff. So I want you, if you haven't already, these apps that I put in the upper right side here are really great for you to look at. The EWG Skin Deep Health Living one is a great one because you can put it into your phone and you can scan products. So a lot of times, like if I'm at Target and I need to get a sunscreen, I will scan in that sunscreen and it will show up as a level 4 or 5 in the toxicity. And you're usually trying to keep things at like a 3 or below, I'd say at least. So it will give you some feedback of what's in that. And then Think Dirty is another one. Like a simple example is if you put in like Dawn soap. There's some ingredients in Dawn soap that are like an 8. They're really high on the toxic kind of load of your body. So you want to be mindful. And there's so many great options now. People are becoming aware of it. And so I really recommend that you look around on these sites to find some clean ones. I know I haven't tried it yet, but I've because I use a lot of doTERRA stuff, but I think it's Branch Basics is supposed to be another brand that's really good too. Just to highlight a couple, I love doTERRA's toothpaste. It does not have fluoride, and that is my preference. And I love this Virage system for the skincare. And I know there's a lot of people have used it. I think Merlot started using that too, right? And I think you've enjoyed that. It's a really nice cream.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got like a force
to my skin.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, really a nice thing to use, and it's much cleaner. I put all those ingredients. So you're going to find that some, like this Virage system from doTERRA was not in, hold on. It says one more. Let me just make sure someone wasn't trying to get there. You love the shampoo and conditioner, Sarah? Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, the shampoo and conditioner is really great too. I love too this, the On Guard concentrate. I use it for everything. I use it for stains in the house. They're out of this hand wash right now. So I actually just refilled mine with On Guard oil. And then I used castor, what's the Dr. Bronner's, what's it called? The Castile soap.
Castile soap.
Right, Castile soap and then water. So I remade my hand wash with that. Okay, so keep those in mind. Those would be really good ones for you to use. We talked about diffusing. All right, I think this is the last slide, last 2 slides, and then Tracy, I'm gonna have you take over here. So, and I think Tracy's gonna probably talk about the gut a little bit, but I just had to kind of mention this, that knowing that like at least 80% of your immune system lies in your gut. So having that proper bacterial, like healthy bacteria is so key. It is like that foundation. So taking probiotics is really important. For people who aren't big supplement takers, this is my favorite brand of fermented veggies, Bubbies. But there's a couple. Farmhouse is good. You just don't want to get anything. Basically, you want to see like cabbage or pickles. It would just be the cucumber, salt, water. You don't want to see added vinegar or anything into it. And these are full populated with healthy bacteria. So I highly recommend, and you only have to take like a spoonful like of the sauerkraut. So it's a really nice one to get. All right. So when we talk about what damages the gut, it can be your diet is huge. If you've been on a lot of antibiotics, exercise is key, poor sleep habits, stress, right? And that's where Juliana with her meditation, I think it's so key right now to, it's just vital in our immune system health too. So I was listening to a doctor talk and they were saying that, you know, a lot of doctors don't talk about the importance of nutrition. And a lot of doctors don't know about it. They're not given that nutritional background. It is key. It is so important, especially now, to watch the sugar intake and watch the diet and everything too. Add in these probiotics. Okay, and then I just wanted to show you real fast. This is for kids. If you are looking for like a simple line to get kids involved in things, I love this line because it comes with these little flashcards, and the kids love to take these. They're also properly diluted for children, and they can take it, and the Brave is like this beautiful citrus smell, so you can roll it on your wrists and have the kids pick what they need. They have one for digestion, one for immune system. So it's a really nice way to get the kids involved too. And Juliana, I don't know if Catalina told you, but one of the people that we work with, Season, she has this nonprofit for cancer to help kids thrive during cancer. And in this cancer kit that she gives for free to people, they just have to pay for shipping. She gives this whole kids kit here. So if you know anyone who is dealing with cancer, reach out to me so I can send you the link, because she sends a beautiful kit of like castor oil packs, oils, just a ton of stuff to help support kids here too. Okay, and then Tracy. So I've known Tracy for, gosh, like 20 years, probably 15 more intimately. We kind of did Pilates sessions together. We've collaborated on stuff. She had a Pilates studio for a very long time. And then she's also a nutritionist, or you can say the exact name of what you call. I've worked with her on a nutritional basis too. I was dealing with SIBO, which is small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. She's really been kind of a foundational, like really supportive person in helping me through some of that. And so I wanted to have her talk a little bit about how the body responds to stress, and then a couple other things. So Tracy, whenever you are ready, come on.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rochelle. And yeah, so I do work with nutrition. I work also on functional health, because there's so much more that goes into keeping our bodies alive and well and vital than just nutrition in of itself. And one major thing is how we manage stress. So, you know, stress is just there. It's a part of life. It's never going to go away. You know, I looked up a couple of definitions of stress. What it is it's in a physiological term, it's the body's reaction to any change and that requires an adjustment or a response, right? So if a car is all of a sudden, you know, going fast down and you're getting ready to cross the street, like you do a quick response, you know, oh, don't walk forward, walk back, right? And that's just one, that's like a quick stress, right? Other things might be like mentally, we might feel our body, especially now in discussions or stuff like that, if there's something that we're get a little hot underneath the collar with, or don't agree with someone, like that could bubble up things. Or if it's something that's depressing you, and so you're actually experiencing your body sending signals from the hormone system. And so I've mentioned a couple of things on the slide here of what our adrenals do. Basically, our adrenals get reactive, okay? And they can either be reactive in a fight and flight, or more of a, they can calm you down too. And so I think the big thing when it comes to stress, in order to be able to support the management of it, is to be aware of it. Like, just be aware and aware of things that cause you to go up and down in extremes sometimes, right? And is it Juliana that's going to speak again?
Yes.
So about meditation, and that's where really meditation helps you take you from that high point to that down point. And I'll let her talk about more of that. But when you can become aware of, like, when your body does that, for women, be aware of, like, if you're still in a cycling mode, okay, be aware of how you respond as you get closer and closer, or during your cycle mode, because that can also be hyperstimulated as well. And so there are many things that can be done to support stress management, but I think it becomes more about awareness and then knowing the tools that support you, that you can attach to, that feel good for you. And one great thing is essential oils, because there are such a variety. All of us are unique, so we're all going to be attractive to different oils that can support that, as well as, so that's the smell aspect, right? Our attraction to the smell. And so I love Balance for that. Balance is one of my wonderful essential oils. And as a matter of fact, I have a spray bottle made, and I have it in my shower. And so when I'm showering, because, I'm just there in my shower, right? And I just spray that, and I just get to inhale and breathe it in. And the warmth of the shower too just kind of helps expand that aroma as well, which is really, really wonderful. And then Copaiba, if you go to doTERRA, they have a lot of really wonderful educational tools of what Copaiba is. It is a part of the cannabinoid system plant area, but the body's response to it's much different because than an actual hemp oil that you would get off the market. And I'd be really careful about buying things off the market from that, because there's a lot of things that you want to know before you buy one of those oils. But Copaiba is super, super safe. If you look at all the different studies they have done about Copaiba and the cannabis, and the way it actually can help support that system of rebalancing internally, just like singing or dancing or a laughter can do that. That's what Copaiba does too. And I like to mix my Copaiba with some other oils that I have like their aroma with, like a wild orange, because then I get the combination of both of those together.
Great. I love that idea of putting it in the shower. I never thought of doing that in the spray bottle.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
Okay, and then do you want to touch a little bit on the support for the immune system here, Tracy?
Sure, yeah. So Rochelle was addressing a little bit about, like, being conscious or aware. You like that too. Thank you, Sarah. I love Balance. Yeah, it's a really fun one. So the immune system, when Rochelle was talking a little earlier about, being aware of, like, what your products contain, like the toxicity, little things go a long way. If you're not managing stress, like if it's just chronic, right, that's going to impact your immune system. And then if you have all these chemical toxins, you might say, oh, there's just a little bit, but all that accumulates. And so when your body receives that, toxicity is also a stressor for the immune system, because it will trigger the immune system, says, uh-oh, alarm, alarm, there's something in this body that I don't recognize as good. And so then it's going to trigger your immune system to go out with the white blood cells and the T cells and the macrophage cells, right? And says, oh, go attack, go attack. Well, if your immune system's constantly having to work to attack these things that you do have some control of, then you're running the energy down on your immune system. Okay, so when you can use alternatives that bring support health, that gives your immune system an opportunity to just not have to be so alert, so that when it really needs to work, it's there and available. And also, Rochelle mentioned too, you very, very rarely hear the Western medical world, at least, talk about like supporting immune system before you're sick, not wait until you are sick, because at that point, it's past the point, really. You know, you want to support your body as best you can, so that when the flu season comes around, you can get through it, you know, or maybe you start to feel a little run down and you know what to do to get yourself back up and you're going, you know. So the immune system can work that way. So I've listed several things. Digestion is key. Rochelle mentioned 80% of your immune system lies in your digestive tract. A main reason is a good portion of your lymph system. And lymph is a flow of fluids that contain a lot of the white blood cells, okay? And so a major component of the lymph system lives in the gut. And it's in the gut that a major component is called IgA. These are different antibodies that are supposed to be developed in your gut. But if you don't have that healthy balance of a good bacteria and bad bacteria, which should be about 80%, 20%, 80% good, 20% bad, that will diffuse that lymph system, okay, to do what it's supposed to do. So yes, a healthy diet, but a healthy diet is doesn't do much if your body can't properly break it down, absorb it, and eliminate. Okay, those are really good components to having a healthy digestive system. Your immune system is highly dependent on nutrients to function. I had a chart, but I think it would have been too overwhelming. And it talks about the different parts of the immune system and how the T cells need this, and the macrophages need this, and the adaptive immunity system need this. These are all parts of the immune system, and they need vitamins and minerals. And I've listed a few of them. Those are really, really key ones: your zinc, your magnesium, your vitamin C. As a matter of fact, zinc and vitamin C are antiviral. Okay, and so especially with this current virus going on, vitamin D in particular helps regulate your inflammatory system. 95% of the clients I work with on a functional health basis are below the standard medical system of vitamin D. And so that just tells me their body is not able to support inflammation such as asthma and allergies. I'm not even just talking viruses, but even those factors can be very supported on that. And so I listed some oils as well that can help optimize the digestive system. Ginger and Digest Zen are really great in stimulating the enzymes to do their work. So enzymes help break down the food. Just rubbing a couple of drops of ginger or the Digest Zen around your abdomen and intestinal area is really, really good to help with, as Rochelle mentioned, you know, talking about different foods, to help with, like, if you have those sugar cravings, grapefruit is really good. And grapefruit is also helpful for detox of the liver and the lymph system. So, and I love grapefruit. I mean, I love the smell of it. I love the smell is really good, and it tastes good in the water as well. And then one last thing, as I mentioned, in terms of essential oils and how you can support your immune system, is some different oils that support antioxidant levels. Because when you have stress, you create more free radicals in the body as well. When you have toxicity, that's creating more free radicals. And free radicals, just basically, if you want to think about it, they destroy your cells, as Rochelle was mentioning earlier. We want to keep those cells healthy. So the antioxidants are there to kind of, like, I think of Pac-Mans. They should be running around your body and eating up those free radicals. But when the Pac-Mans aren't there, the free radicals take over.
Great. Okay. Thanks, Tracy. That's so important to all of that stuff. And I love that the bouncing of the blood sugar too with the grapefruit, I think is really great, and the antioxidants. I had Andrea got kicked off because her phone
Sounds good.
died. How do I let her back in now? Let's see. Let me see. Hold on.
Monica, I'll have Rochelle send me your information. Thank you.
Yeah, and at the end, Tracy, or Monica, I have all the contact info for her too, so you can screenshot it or I can send it to you too. Let me just see how to let.
I think you go to participants and there, if you hover over, you should be able to click admit.
You're amazing. Thank you.
I just was doing that earlier this morning. So
I was thinking as I was talking, I'm like, gosh, how am I going to let people in? How am I going to even know if they're here? Okay. Andrea, was that you that I just let back in?
Hi, yes, it has
Okay.
my name, Aaliyah, sorry.
Okay, that's why I was like, ooh, is that somebody else? Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Okay, thanks, Sarah, for teaching me something new. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of this stuff right now because I want Juliana to talk, and then we'll see what we have time for, because I think as we are, and Tracy, maybe you're going to mention at the end too, I think you had a class on myofascial release that I thought might be interesting for people to know about. So at the end, will you remind me to talk about that?
Sure,
So I really
absolutely.
just I want to keep it under an hour because I want to respect everyone's time, but I wanted to just touch on a couple things. Like, let's talk about the adrenals and stress and some essential oils and foods for your body and what's happening a little bit. And then that idea of calming the mind too. And then you can all reach out to me too if you're like, ooh, I want to expand on this, or let's do more on that. Okay, so I wanted to, sometimes when you start talking about it, it just reminds you to be mindful of doing these things. And that was just really important for me to bring that to all of our attention again. So Juliana is amazing. Like, I met her, actually, she lived in my back house for a while, and she is, when you always wonder with people, gosh, are they just talking about stuff or do they follow through the way they're talking about things, right? She is exactly as she presents herself plus more. Like, it's those simple acts of things that they would do, like preparing their meal and sitting outside and enjoying it, sweeping outside every day to make their area look beautiful. Like, it was all those little things that really stand out to me. And she and Michelle, who work together on meditation. Juliana, maybe you can tell it more because this is just a brief idea, but they work with a lot of people who've been incarcerated and then go to a home to help in their rehabilitation. And they do meditation with these people downtown. And they have seen, I think, and I'm going to let you speak on it, Juliana, is it like an 80% rate of them staying out of jail after they get out with bringing in these modalities like meditation? And she has worked with Michelle on creating a movie with Deepak Chopra on helping for depression and suicide. And so all these things that they do are just to give to other people, and she's phenomenal. So Juliana, were you able to unmute yourself?
Yeah. Good morning first, everybody. And thank you, Rochelle, for bringing up all this beautiful group of people together, because during these times we had been too much disconnected. Not only disconnected from physical contact, but from the nature. So when we create these spaces, we kind of feel that sensation of going back to our roots, going back to our tribal sensation. And this is actually what meditation means. There are many projects that I am working on, as Rochelle was saying, working with parolees, people who had been incarcerated for many years, working also in a movie which brings up suicide prevention and mental health. And all these are different channels that help people to do one specific thing, to calm the mind. People, and especially in Los Angeles, I was born originally in Colombia. And when I come here to Los Angeles, I discovered that everybody talks about meditation. But when we really try to enter in, okay, but what is the meaning of meditation? People keep talking about meditation by the intellect level. And meditation is not anything intellectual. Meditation is not something that we can express with words. We had been talking about oils, about the sensation of the oils in the body, about how oils change the cells. All those sensations that the oils bring to our body are meditation as well. Because the key to change the mind, the key to quiet the mind, is the sensation. People in Los Angeles, I always listen to them saying, well, you need to start breathing in and breathing out. And after some breaths, you will feel better. But just thinking about breathing good is bringing up more thoughts. That's not yet any meditation. That's just putting your mind in something different to do. And again, meditation is not an intellectual thought. Meditation is nothing of more process of the mind, not more brain activity. Meditation is something that brings us back to a sensation. So why the paralyzed feel good after every session of meditation? Because they actually say, I feel free in my mind. It's not about being free outside of jail. It's being free inside of our mind. And that freedom is only possible when we enter in a calm vibration. That's why talking is so important. When we talk, we send a vibration. So we cannot talk very fast because the speed of our voice sends a speed vibration. And that speed vibration is felt in all of our cells. So if we are stressed already and we receive a vibration that comes with a stressful energy, our cells will react to that. But if we are stressed inside, our body is like this, let's say, and somebody comes to us with a different vibration, all inside of us changes immediately. And at that moment, when our vibration lowers down, we are ready to start changing our mind. Why? Because all the cortisol levels are reduced. The serotonin, the dopamine starts being upgraded. So suddenly we feel more space. And when we feel more space in our brain, naturally our breath lowers down. And we don't have to think, oh, I need to breathe in slower, or I need to breathe in and out longer. naturally our body regulates to where it's supposed to be. But what happens with us nowadays is that we want to go faster than the speed of the nature. And I love metaphors because metaphors are like the mirror, or can become like the mirror of our soul. So when we think about the ocean, and when we think about the waves come, stay for a while, and dissolve. That's nature. That's how we are supposed to be. But even the speed of the waves in our daily life, we want to change. We want to go faster. And that's when all the stress comes up. So we need to go back to the nature. And when we go back to the nature, we are more calm, we are more quiet, and we are ready to start meditating. Because as my teachers used to say when I lived in the Buddhist monastery in the Himalayas, they used to say meditation starts after the breath. Meditation starts after the breath. So never think that you are meditating because you are breathing in and out slower or fast. So I always invite people to use metaphors, because the metaphors are what become the mirror of our mind. So if we are used to see the ocean, we don't need to go to the ocean. I talk to you, I describe the word ocean, and probably inside of you, you picture the ocean. And this is the power of the imagination. We can be here and we can be in the ocean. And when we have the ability to understand that imagination is the key to our well-being, we start meditating. So I love to start talking about meditation always by saying what meditation is not. Because we had already a lot of information, especially in Los Angeles. We see a lot of advertising, we have a lot of social media, we have a lot of beautiful people looking at a beautiful lake and not even understanding what meditation. And it's not that I know everything about meditation. I still have to learn a lot of things about meditation. Because meditation actually not only starts after a breath, but after starting to talk about meditation. That word shouldn't even exist, because it's so confusing to our Western mind that we just took the word and make it fashion. As yoga, people make yoga fashion. So yoga and meditation are just like, let's do it. Let's put it in a beautiful calligraphy, and let's put a beautiful pose, and let's sell something amazing. That's not what meditation or yoga means. So this is just a little bit of a preview, a sensation that as the oils give to us a beautiful sensation, meditation is also something that should inspire us to have that calming sensation. So thank you, Rochelle, for allowing us to have this beautiful space.
Thank you so much. I don't know if you guys feel it, but immediately when she starts talking, it calms me down, right? Because I can tell I talk fast and I kind of get here. And she's right. I don't know if you guys could feel it, but when she starts talking, there's a different energy, right? There's just a calmness that comes. Did anyone else kind of get anything like that out of when she started talking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Juliana, the thing that's always hard for me to figure out when you're talking about the meditation is when we are starting to try to calm ourselves down and look to this feeling. Is that what you suggest, to think of an image or a metaphor or the ocean or something to kind of take us to a calmer state?
Yes, I think at the beginning, for sure, we need to be guided. At the beginning, we need someone who takes our hand and show to us the path. How is it possible to break up all these patterns that I had been building up through my daily life? And once we learn that new way, then we can continue by ourselves. So it's always about how I choose one moment of the day. Don't choose the most dramatic moment of your day to start this, because it will become too much difficult. But choose a moment, like, for example, I'm cooking my meal and I need to give the meal to my kids and they want it now because they are too much hungry, and I start feeling this stress. Through the meal that you cook, you are giving your energy to the people who eat the food that you are preparing. So while you cook, try to feel that you are at the ocean, for example. And try to feel that you have that calming vibration of expansion. So choose moments of the day that you know that will trigger a little bit of stress, not that will make you explode like a volcano because it's too much, but choose those little moments that add up stress to your life and start bringing up images. I have the ocean today in my mind, but maybe you can feel the sky or a sunflower or something of the nature that you feel that it's like always inviting you to kind of go back to the center. And we have the app that is called Mind Dive. It's a free app you can download in your phone. You are always having there many different meditations that you can experience. I normally provide content in Spanish in my social media, but my YouTube channel has some few content in English. And I am always happy to open up spaces in English. If this is something that we will want to do in the future, I'm happy to open up spaces that we can plug in 10, 20 minutes and do a practice together. So use whatever you can to find moments to feel like something in the nature that makes you feel expanded. Use the nature as the mirror to yourself.
Great. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so if you didn't hear, that's the Mind Dive app too. That is free, that you can go and put in different emotions or things that you're feeling, and it will come up with some different kind of meditation and ideas that you can go and look for some support there too. Wonderful. Okay, any, let me make sure there's no more chat comments. Any questions about anything? I'm not gonna spend much time on these slides. I had a couple, thank you so much, Juliana. You always have such a wonderful way of kind of bringing people into that space. I remember when I had recorded a couple things with Michelle and Juliana for the Mind Dive app with essential oils. And I was talking and he's like, he would go like this to me, like, slow it down. Cause I'd be like, and da, 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 da. And he's like, slow. So I definitely have to work on kind of that, that aspect for myself, because I notice a difference in how I feel when I do that. But vetiver, I just want to mention, is a really powerful oil for people who have a lot of that mind chatter and need that calming down. And any kids with ADD and ADHD, it does have that ability to really kind of ground you. So and good to keep in mind. I'm not going to go through all this stuff. I want to, I'll pause on diffuser blends in case people are looking for ones that help with stress and sleep. You can take a screenshot of this. And then I will end on the page with Juliana and Tracy's contact info too, so that if you had any questions, and you can always reach out to me if you don't take a screenshot and you want to reach out to them. Oh, Tracy, do you want to mention real fast, because I thought it was interesting about that myofascial release that you were talking about?
Yeah, and just speaking about what Juliana said is like, you know, bring something to the mind to kind of get you to that other side of things. So one thing I've been doing, I am also a Pilates teacher and work with functional movement as well. And so as was how we started off with is, you know, we have a lot of stress, you know, things that could really just generate stress right now. And so because most of my sessions are online, I'm actually suggesting for someone to, for the participants to come to class with an essential oil. Sometimes I might be a little bit more specific, like something that might wake you up for the morning, or something that just might start to balance the brain or bring your body to a sense that you can focus on that versus everything else going on or everything else that you read on the media. So I've been starting most of my classes like that. One class in particular I've been doing this with is myofascial release. So it is what myofascial release is. So fascia, real quickly, is basically, I describe it, it's like your skin on the inside of the body. It covers everything, your organs, your muscles, your nerves, the ligaments. And so that fascia system, actually when stress is not managed, when it's overwhelmed, or like even stress from like a surgery or stress from an accident, the inside body gets stressed too. And the fascia itself, when it's overstressed, is not getting the nutrient and water flow that it should. So it actually gets brittle. So if you think about, again, like your outside skin, when it gets dry and it gets that flaky and stuff like that, that's kind of what happens to the fascia on the inside. So the myofascia class actually works with a ball that has a specific texture material that helps penetrate the fluids back there, but also it helps open the elasticity back up, because when things are brittle, they just don't stretch really well, right? They don't stretch and reattach, you know, they just kind of go and stay there. So it helps create space in the body, joint mobility. It helps lengthen out muscles. So some of you might think of it as stretching. It definitely is very supportive in relieving pain, back pain, shoulder pain, foot pain, because you end up working throughout the whole body through the sessions. And then at the same time, it does focus on breath, and breath is a natural parasympathetic sympathetic balancer. So if you see people like, you know, and that's like their natural breathing habit, this actually helps recenter as well, because your focus is where your body and the ball. and that is it. And that is repeated to help bring people back to that centering. So that's the myofascia class, and that will stay online actually. And so you do it at the comfort of your own home. And I have diagrams and stuff like that for it too.
And I think I saw you had info on your website about it too, right?
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you. So interesting, calming. I needed to slow it down too. Yeah. I'm the person too. I get excited, and it's such a good reminder to slow down. Yeah, it is. It is so important at this time, you guys, because all of that stress internally that we are creating is really impacting our overall well-being and how we react. And we all need to be at our best right now and be the example for a lot of people that are really having some major problems going through this, because this can be really your time to expand and grow or kind of contract. And so we really can use this time in a really powerful way. And that's why I wanted to hold a class like this, because I think there's so many beautiful people that offer so many great resources, and that we can all rise up together if we work together on these things. So keep in mind, we're doing this same class again at 5 p.m. tonight. So if you think that this would benefit anybody, please let me know and I'll send them a link. I really just want to share this information and have these people like Tracy and Juliana really show what they can also provide too. So thank you so much. It was great to start my morning with you guys. And I'll see some of you back at 5 p.m.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A nice meeting you all, beautiful people. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.